Weilà raga, buongiorno a tutti. Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on a fresh and brisk November morning here at the park. As you can see, there's leaves everywhere. I was like, I gotta film a video in the park when all the leaves change because it's just, I love it, right? Change of the seasons. But anyway, what I'd like to do is talk to you guys a little bit about how I study Italian. It's something that has changed a lot over the years, and I'm going to be explaining that to you guys today. I thought it's about time that I actually finally sit down with you guys and say, look, this is exactly what I do. Not only advice, but this is exactly what I do to study Italian, because it is something that I do every day and something that I've been doing for a very, very long time now. So in order to remember some of the things that I used to do to study Italian, I had to look back at my old Italian notebook from when I first started studying, because I found when I first started studying Italian, I pretty much followed the same sort of pattern. Whenever I would learn something new or whenever I was doing practice, there was always this certain structure, this certain kind of formal way that I would follow of studying. So I'll try to insert some photos of my old notebook so you guys can get an idea also. But the very first thing that I always did is something that I do a lot of the times in my videos, or at least what I used to do in a lot of my videos, which was begin with words and phrases of a particular topic. Then I went into questions and answers. So I would say, for example, like if I was learning how to say, are you tall? I would say, sei alto? Question. Answer, sì, sono alto. And I would also give a negative response. No, non sono alto, sono basso. Then right there, not only am I learning how to say, are you tall? Yes, I'm tall. No, I'm not tall. I'm also learning how to say, no, I'm short. So you're learning vocab, and question and answers are a great way to study, especially in the beginning when you're starting with a new topic. It was then at this point that I would start doing conjugations of verbs. So though it may appear as though it's like a reversed or a backwards sort of way of learning something, because I'm already saying sei alto, sono alto, I'm using conjugations of the verb essere. The reason being is I just found it's easier, just start speaking, you know? Learn how to say something first and then learn why after. That is the way that I like to learn. It's not necessarily the way that everyone else likes to learn, but it's the way that I like to learn, and I found it useful. Sometimes I find if you shake things up a little bit and don't always do it like everyone else does, you can have some pretty cool and exciting results, you know? So it's worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you guys too. And if it doesn't matter, but try it anyway, you know what I mean? So then I would do conjugations of verbs. I would take the whole verb essere and conjugate it. And then after I'd conjugate it and give myself some translations so I even knew what it meant, I'd then go into some more exercises with the verb essere and do phrases with every pronoun. So with io, tu, lui, lei, noi, voi, loro. And I would go through it. And then with time, as I kind of graduated and as I moved up in levels and could learn different verb tenses, I do the same things just with different verb tenses. And then, however, once you move on to other verb tenses, you need to do review of the past stuff. That way you never forget it. So you give yourself a nice little setup here to build you up for success, because that's what it's all about, guys. Then what I'd do is I would try to increase and improve my vocabulary. So that would mean taking some vocab words and doing repetitions of 3 times each. So let's say I'd take the word il cappotto, right, which means a coat. So I would take il cappotto and I'd write it 3 times, and then I would then say the coat underneath. So repetition really helped, and this also helped with spelling and also to remember the articles. So I would go il cappotto, il cappotto, il cappotto, the coat. Then I would say I capotti, the coats. So this was a very good way to learn the definite articles, and was also a great way to remember if the word was masculine or feminine, and how it would change if it was singular or plural. Whenever I speak now, I see my notes. And especially because I hand wrote my notes, I think that really made a difference. I'm a firm believer in handwriting things. Whenever I study, I always handwrite my things. It's time consuming, your hand can hurt after some time, but I just found it's really good. Just writing really, really helps to reinforce things in the mind. Then after I did all of this, I saw that I would go into reading exercises and long writing exercises. So then what I would do is essentially I'd read things in Italian, and if I was at a basic level, I'd try to read basic things. If I was at a more advanced level, then I would go into things like, so examples of basic stuff, reading children's books in Italian, reading Disney books in Italian, It's very useful. You can find a lot of this stuff online. And then once I was more intermediate and more advanced, then I'd try to graduate into novels, into books, short stories, reading articles online like Italian newspaper, even entertainment news in Italian. It's great to talk to someone in their language about their singers. You know what I mean? It's just, well, I love talking about music, for example, so I always liked to learn about, you know, the singers and new songs, and I just found that was a great way for me also to practice and to learn new vocab, and it's just great. So, you know, read anything, you know, and don't be discouraged if you don't understand something. It's okay. Maybe take a little note, jot something quickly down, and then ask a pen pal, you know? That's just a great way. Get in that habit, you know? That stuff is really good. So, reading exercises and then long writing exercises. Then what I would literally do is if I saw certain phrases that I saw would pop up all the time, I'd try to use them myself. I would then write things, like I remember I'd always say about I Cesaroni, because that was a TV show that I always watched. I'll have a link down below in the description if I can find anything on that TV show. I don't watch it anymore, but several years ago I used to be obsessed with it, and it was just such a great tool that I utilized to help me to learn more and more Italian and to practice and to hear how natives spoke. But yeah, I would say, La famiglia Cesaroni è una famiglia largata. I remember always hearing that phrase, and so whenever I had to do like a writing exercise in school or just, you know, for myself if I wanted to practice, I'd always use like that phrase, and it just helped build my vocabulary, and it also helped with being time efficient. Is that how you say it? Or with using my time effectively, especially on an exam when you don't have much time to think about word for word translation. You just need to belt out phrases, and so hearing things all the time and then just repeating them really helped. And so then naturally, this brings me into the next thing that I wanted to say, which is listening. Listening is very, very important. And listening is one of the easiest things we can do because we get to listen to someone talking to us. Instead of us having to take the time to sit down and read something in quiet where we're not distracted, we can actually sit quietly but have someone say something to us. Does that make sense? Listening is great, and you can do it in many fun ways. You can listen to music, you can listen to TV shows. I mean, you can watch movies and listen to that. You can listen to dialogue that way. It's endless. So now that we're done with all of these more formal and structured ways of learning, I then started changing up my studying patterns and my studying style when I started making YouTube videos. Because what was happening was that my way of studying and practicing became preparing lessons for videos, because I had to think about concepts, talk to my Italian friends to make sure what I was presenting was correct, or look in textbooks or look things up online if I wasn't sure. And that became my new way of studying. So presently, I no longer do those things that I mentioned to you guys just moments ago in this video. My new way of studying Italian is to make YouTube videos, because I literally get to hear myself talk, I get to hear my accent, hear my pronunciation, and then if I see I need to work on something, I do my best to work on it, and then I kind of have like this video diary. When I look back at all of my videos, I can look back at videos from years ago and be like, oh yeah, that's when I used to say that. Now I say it this way, or now I learned this new word, or now I learned this new verb tense, and so therefore I can see the improvement of my Italian. So that's why I've said it before in one of my past videos, I think where I was giving advice. If I can locate that video, I'll put it down below. Once you do more than like 100 and something videos, you start to lose track of the videos that you've made. So, but I do my best to find them for you guys and link them in the description. The description is the place for anything extra that I want you guys to know. Just a little heads up. But yeah, I had mentioned, make videos of yourself. You don't have to go putting them up on YouTube like I do. You can just have them for yourself. That way you can have a video diary to see how you sound, you know? So making my videos is tremendously helpful, not only, as at least I hope, for you guys, but for myself, because I literally create lesson plans for myself, and also it's great review when I'm reviewing old topics that I've already mastered. So yeah, get creative with your studies, you know? You really can. So I'm gonna close up this video now, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in and checking this out. You're all amazing, and I hope you guys are just having fantastic days, fantastic weeks, fantastic lives. And you know what? Something that I've learned recently is that the unimaginable can be, or the unimaginable? Yeah, the unimaginable can be a very beautiful thing. So sometimes things can happen to you that you never imagined could happen, or you look back on an old picture of yourself and you're like, wow, I never thought I'd be in the place that I am today, in any aspect of your life, you know? And that's a very beautiful thing, the unimaginable. You couldn't fathom something when you were little, you know, like, because what I was doing when you know, I was looking back, sorry to get all deep and sentimental here, but just a thought. When I was looking back on my old notebooks, it just so happened that I was also looking back through like old photo albums, and I was like, wow, so I remember this is when I was like really studying Italian for the first time and everything was so new and exciting and all this stuff. And I was like, I never thought that I'd be in the place where I am today, where I feel confident enough to, like, with my Italian. You know what I'm saying? And then like even with YouTube, I never thought I'd be doing this stuff on YouTube. You know, back then I was still putting up videos of me playing songs on the piano on my channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so random, like how things happen. So just know, have faith in every step that you take, that you will be going in the right direction. The path to where you're going is never linear. It's always zigzag, up and down, backwards, around. So don't worry about it. Just take it day by day and know that the unimaginable can happen, and the unimaginable can be very, very beautiful. Always remember to spread the love, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao.